Hello. Well, it has been a cold and wet winter as usual. As I'm sure many of you out there, I have done very little on the pond at all. But now we're starting to, we've got the first good day outside this year, it seems. So I'm going to start tackling a job that I'm not particularly looking forward to. So long story short, I basically have two filter systems running. Now the majority of the bio that was in the old filter is now in the new filter, but there is still some remnants left in there. Not much, but just a little bit. Now the way that the bio will work and the bacteria is it will only produce enough for what's needed to filter the pond water. Now currently that is being spread over both of these chambers, but I need to remove this because one is just a mess in the garden, ignoring that over there, and I want to get this shed all finished and plumbed in. So what I need to do is put this bottom drain that comes out of here into the drum. The reason I've left it running is mainly because it's been cold. I didn't want the water to freeze in this pipe while I was moving it over. The first thing to do is to get this tub, get the water out of it, and get this isolated to begin with. I'm probably going to put an extension on this pipe just so it's like coming up high. Remove all that side of it because I'm not worried about it freezing now. Famous last words, because we're getting a bit warmer. So the bottom drain is disconnected for the time being. This tub has been emptied, just needs to get rid of it. I went to clean the pump off and the actual tap for the outside water has come apart on the inside. Now I did disconnect it during the winter, but yeah, when I've turned it back on, it's blown a pipe off. So I need to take the cabinets out, get to the water pipe, fix that. That's the next job. Then I think what I'm probably going to do is finish off the siding of this shed so it's all sealed before I tackle the bottom drain. I'm hoping that's a relative. I got all the OSB in here. I'm hoping that's going to be a quick. Well, I'll probably take this panel off, new one on the side, get that finished. Then I'll move this blue pipe out the way, which is the water pipe supply from inside. You can see it on the wall there, maybe. Connect that up, put it in a suitable place up here, which I then can do once the side's obviously finished. And then I'll move on the bottom drain. So, as I'm sure a lot of people who do a lot of work themselves, a simple job, which might be tricky, always turns into an extra 3 different jobs you didn't expect while doing it. But that's the way it goes. So I will get back to you when I think all of this garden's cleared up and this tap's all fixed, and so I can actually tackle the job I wanted to start with. And as a side note, before I get it on with all this stuff, the fish are barely feeding at the moment because, well, I'm not putting any food in. It's colder months, so this is the perfect time really to alter the filter. And because there was some old filter media, you can see it there, that was still in the bottom of that tub, it would have still been doing something. So what I'm going to do, with it disconnected, I'm going to be feeding very, very little and letting the media that's in the new bio chamber catch up to the pond. So I'll just monitor the levels over the next week or so and see how it gets on. And I'm hoping all of that bio in there, because there's quite a lot in there, is going to take up the task of what's needed for the pond, especially now the drums fill in here, because there'll be less waste being produced, so less strain on the bio anyway. So yeah, but I am going to monitor it over the next week or so and just make sure the levels stay good before I start upping the feed properly as the sort of springtime rolls on. So much for the good days. I've started filming this video probably weeks ago it was. And it has just been raining continuously since. So I'm having another crack at doing some more. Now a little bit has been done on the shed. I have managed to get this front panel on here, that's next to the door, all fitted, and that is on. It needs like feather edge on the outside of it, but it is all now sealed up, so it's all weather tight really. You can see the front here is clear, so I can walk around the pond. Fish are still doing good. Some of the tench are starting to get a bit bigger now as well, which is nice. But anyway, back in here. So the plan was, as you can see, I've got this standoff pipe on the bottom drain because it is no longer working. All of the drum is actually running through the skimmer here. So that's how it's going. Initial plan was to swap this valve, which is it works but not well, to swap it with a big ball valve. Now I'm having second thoughts against it just because of how much of a pain it might be. So instead, what I'm going to try and do first is get some pipe that I can line up the drum outlet with the bottom drain. Now this is lower, a lot lower than this one, and it's not level in terms of its offset, so it's a little bit of a snake through. And let's see if I can get something that, or shape some pipe to come out and down and round, and then just put like a 90 like this on here and have it go straight in, because that would be the simplest solution. And then should I ever have problems that I need to move the drum or disengage the system, I can just do this again, and that would be fine. So yeah, I'm getting a bit lazy with it, but I think it's probably just going to be the quickest, easiest solution. I'll keep that just in case it doesn't work, and then I will need to dig it all out and try and fix the bottom drain. My main concern is blocking off the bottom drain. I do have like an inflatable bladder to sort of go down in there to seal it up. I don't know how well that'll work, and at the moment with the temperature of the water, I don't want to get in the pond to try and seal it. So yeah, let's be lazy and see if I can make something work here. So this is how I'm going to attempt to make this pipe for the bottom drain. Is I've made a basic jig with some angle cuts down in it. Then I used the test piece and just chopped it off at that angle. I don't think the angle is important, but it just needs to be the same on every cut. So then what you do is if you flip the pipe around, put it back on, it gives you an angle, and then plastic weld it back together. Now that first cut was it's a bit too sharp, I think, of an angle. So I've made a second one here, a bit of a less of a degree, and I've gone about and mocked up a pipe. And this is the pipe in question. So as you can see, it bends and twists in all sorts of angles and shapes. And this hopefully will then go between here and the 90 degree. That's the plan anyway. So what I need to do now is crack out the plastic welder and weld up all of these joins, and let's see how strong it is. So what I've done is marked up with the pipes so I can get them in the same location. Then I have got a little belt sander here and just chamfered the edges. You should be able to see just in there, it's just a little bit of a chamfer on the pipe work. Then I'm going to get the heat gun out and just run the plastic in the chamfer and see how well it joins together, making sure I got the marks lined back up. Yeah, so bear with me while I get that all welded up and I will show you the finished product. So that's what I've made up. I've just got the pipe that I've made in to a 90 with a long tube on it, as you can see, full of water. So I've got all that head pressure in that pipe on this lower section. Now you can see that I have got carried away with the welding, but I had some left. Didn't have enough for this joint, but as you can see from the floor, there is no water there, no leaks from the pipe itself. There's a small little leak back here, but that is just where the rubber hose is. But underneath this pipe, we're all good. Right, so let's get this pipe in here. Now, I have shut the valve off, but it does leak very slightly, so I'm gonna have to be a little bit quick. And then for the drum, I've just pinched one of the overflow. I don't know if you can see it down there. There we go. I've just bunged it with one of the emergency overflow reliefs in the drum filter. Bung the cap. So I'm gonna get this off, this pipe off, put this one in, hope that it fits, tighten it up. Should be good to go. So there's the pipe in. I've had no leaks, which is good. Bottom drain is open. You can see how it snakes and weave, how much off center it is, both left and right and up and down. What I've done for the time being in the skimmer, I've just put a cap in the skimmer to stop that off, so everything's flowing through the bottom drain. There is loads of muck. Should be maybe able to see in there, I'm not sure. There's yeah, loads of it coming out, so I'm sure the drum's going to be in for a nice little treat. So I'm going to leave it like that for a bit, make sure it all works. So the intention for the skimmer is to actually run a separate pump in the skimmer, so that it's on its own system with it blanked off like that, for example. Yeah, and then I can control that individually, and then during the winter maybe I can just shut this bottom valve, which will close mostly, open this cap up again, just having it all running through the top. So plans always change, but yeah, that's the idea, get a pump in there. Well, that's a little job done. We'll see how that gets on. Anyone know a reason why I shouldn't be doing that with a PVC pipe? Obviously let me know. But it all appears to be checking out and working okay. So yeah, I've still got lots of little bits to do. What I'll do them over the next few months, I'd imagine, and just keep you updated as and when anything is done. See you next time.